Okay, Tennessee Waltz. One of my favorite tunes, and as a matter of fact, it's the most recorded song in history. At least it was at one point, and haven't heard any different recently. Let's come back to that in a little bit. Our lesson today is about pentatonic scales. And I'm going to cover what they are and a little bit about why they're neat. But a future lesson will show how to get some really, really good stuff out of pentatonic scales, whether or not you know that you're playing pentatonic. But let's start with what is a pentatonic scale by, first of all, looking at a normal, what we call major scale. Let's pick the G major scale. And we already know that. That's a G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Notice the last note G is the same name as the first note G, and that's called the root. The root is the name of the scale, so that's the G major scale. Let's do that again. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, excuse me, F sharp, G. Okay. Another way to look at that is the root note. Let's call that a number 1. And let's call the second note a number 2, and the third note a number 3, and so on. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay? So, another name for this scale, you notice we went from 1 to 7, and then we start over again with 1, is heptatonic. Greek hepta means 7. Tonic doesn't have anything to do with gin and tonic. Tonic means having to do with tones. So this scale is a 7-tone scale. Now, what we want to look at today is a pentatonic scale. Penta is Greek for 5, so that would be a 5-tone scale. Now, if you just are talking about semantics or whatever, you could pick any 5 notes in order and call that a pentatonic scale. But musically, when we talk about the pentatonic major scale, that means we take a major heptatonic scale and we throw away the number 4 note and the number 7 note. So 7 minus 2 is 5. The 4 note in the G major scale is a C. So we're going to throw that away. And the 7 note is an F sharp. Excuse me. We're going to throw that away. And that leaves us a scale, a pentatonic G major scale that is like this. G, A, B, D, E, G. Or going by the numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Let's do that again. That is a G major pentatonic scale. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. And of course we can go up to the next octave. This is a good instrument for doing that. So we go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. We can put the two together and do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. And, you know, we can practice that and go. Okay, that is the full range, unless we start going up the neck, of the G major pentatonic scale. Now, what I would like all of us to do, and it's what I do, is just practice that. And not just practicing up and down the scale, but noodle around with it. Mark suggested in a previous lesson, noodling around with the scales and just playing stuff, not necessarily at random, but what you think might sound good that's pentatonic, you know, using just those notes in the G major pentatonic scale. So and, you know, we just noodle around with that until we're just really familiar with where our fingers go, and more importantly, where they don't go on the fretboard. And one of the things that we'll find is that with a 5-note scale, there's not as many combinations of notes. And so therefore, we start playing, you just noodling around here, and we start hearing stuff that sounds familiar. Sort of like the other day, I was just sort of... And I said, oh, ooh, that sounds familiar. Wait a minute, how does that go? Well, man, that is purely pentatonic. Now, I'll warn you, there is one accidental note in that tune, and that's there for a very special purpose. It tells us this is the end. So we come down to... That doesn't go, but it announces that we're coming to the ending. You will find, as you noodle around here, you know, maybe some Irish stuff. That's Blarney Pilgrim, Part B. That's all pentatonic. Part A and Part C aren't, but Part B is. You'll find it in church music. You'll find it in Gregorian chants. You'll hear it in classical music. Hear it country western. Dark as a Dungeon by Merle Travis is a great one. You'll hear it in bluegrass. You hear it old-timey. It's all over the place. It's an ancient music form, and therefore it's very common. So practice the pentatonic scale, the major pentatonic scale, and in a upcoming video, I'm gonna talk about a minor pentatonic scale. But first of all, you know, let's leave with 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Okay, pentatonic scale.